Oh, also, I don't know if you can see, my dog is actually, I think, licking his balls. Bonnie. Oh, caught in the act. Hey, back with a vengeance. I feel like I've got my mojo back today as well. I don't know if it's because I've had a lovely weekend or I had so many lovely messages and feedback from my last video, which is lovely because that is girlhood. It's people coming forward and saying, I feel exactly the same as you. I think some people, I don't want to brag, but said they hard related. So whilst I'm sad that you are also in that boat and you feel that way, because I know how it feels, I feel glad that we found each other and that we can all, work through this together. I definitely think the full moon was to blame somewhat because I do feel better. But that being said, I just always feel better on a weekend anyway. Until you get the old Sunday Scaries, which is why I wanted to come on today because, obviously I'm unemployed at the moment, so I don't have... Oh, also, I don't know if you can see, my dog is actually, I think, licking his balls. Bjorny. Oh, caught in the act. This is Bjorn. He actually is a therapy dog, and you're doing a very good job therapizing. Is that a word? I don't think it's a word. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I am unemployed, so I don't have the Sunday Scaries in the way that I would feel when I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to go back to work tomorrow. What's the week going to hold? Etc. But I am getting a little wibbly wobbly because I'm starting to think, what does the week hold for me? Will I get, any news on jobs? It's the first week of August, and in my head, I think I'd created some milestones. So when I first lost my job back at the start of June, I thought, okay, as long as I'm earning by the first week of July, I'll be fine. And then that didn't happen. And now I'm like, as long as I've started earning in August. So yeah, I am getting the Sunday Scaries on another edge of the coin, edge of the world, edge of the coin. So if you have the Sunday Scaries, I'm going to say a few triggering things because for me, Sunday nights still sound like Last of the Summer Wine, the Heartbeat soundtrack, and it smells like Johnson. Is it Johnson's? No, L'Oreal No Tears shampoo because we always wash our hair on a Sunday. So if that triggers you as well, I'm so sorry. But I thought we could fight through it and try and remedy some of those Sunday Scaries and turn it around. And first of all, if you went on the lash this weekend and you have really bad beer fear and you can't remember a lot and you woke up today feeling like everyone hates you, your eyes are stuck together because your eyelashes are all, you didn't take your makeup off, your situationship may have not replied, you can't remember how you got home, you lost your cards, whatever it is, you are absolutely fine. Everybody still loves you. Your friends love you, your family love you. You're still an amazing person. It is just the booze leaving your system that makes you feel that way. Okay? Does that make you feel any better? I hope it does. Often I sleep in the spare room when I've had a drink because I snore really badly when I've had a drink and it wakes my husband up, who isn't much of a drinker. And I'll wake up just and then I have to go into him at 6 o'clock in the morning and I want to be like, are we still married? Does anyone hate me? Was I sick? It isn't responsible drinking, but nonetheless, it happens to the best of us. So you are fine. You're great. You're in a safe space. And if you're worried about work tomorrow, you've got, big meetings, you hate your boss, you hate your job, or you've just generally got that dread that comes with having a busy week. This is probably going to be really unhelpful because I think if I was going to work tomorrow, it probably wouldn't be very helpful for me, but I'm just going to say it. Just remember, you aren't saving lives, and the decisions you make, the consequences are far less greater than you think they are, unless you are, in fact, saving lives, and in which case, get your shit together. Eyes on the prize. People depend on you. Lives are at stake. Hope that makes you feel better. So yeah, I wanted to come on so we can all regroup on a Sunday, set ourselves up for the week. So based on your feedback, we are making a cult Yes. I was hoping we'd go cult rather than crack. And the good news is nobody suggested that I should do crack, so I haven't. Thanks, everybody. Some people have said if you don't make a cult, make a podcast, which would love to. And I know, being a millennial, we grew up with all the technology available to us. You know, we grew up with dial-up, MSN, Bebo, MySpace, chat rooms, Habbo Hotel, LimeWire. What was the other one? The first one? Not Gingster. That's a pastry. Napster. So we grew up evolving with technology. You know, we were part of the era where smartphones came in and all of that. So yes, I am evolved. No, I don't know how to make a podcast. I don't know how I put this into the podcast world. So if anyone does know how to do that, let me know. And it can be for anyone from any generation. Just let me know how to do it. So yeah, welcome to Sunday Service, our first cult meeting, I suppose. But I've been ruminating, as Lily Allen would say, on how the cult will run. Because I feel like hearing your feedback and how I'm feeling, these are a few things that I kind of simply must put in place. So the first one would be candles essential. But I'm thinking like really lovely smelling ones. The White Company, Diptyque, Jo Malone. Any ones that just smell like... I've got some wax melts at the moment that are called Library Room, and they just smell like an old library, but not like musty. It's lovely. So something like that. And I went back to TK Maxx, which I actually think might be church. So maybe that's where we could do our cults meetups. Cult sessions, meetups. Anyway, and I got this. Oh, it smells a bit like David Lloyd, you know. And coming to you live from the middle class is David Lloyd. I don't have a membership there anymore. Because I don't know if I told you, I don't have a job. London Wax Company, Dancing in the Meadows. Oh, she smells good. Let's get her on the altar. So it would be really lovely candles. Absolutely no mental load. Just check your mental load at the door and collect it on the way out. Or don't. Or just shred it if that's what you want to do. And I feel like meetings will be very much driven by, especially our first meeting maybe, is more driven by things that are keeping us up at night. That, you know, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh my God, I did that 10 years ago and I still can't believe I did that. Or, you know, those what I want to do is get rid of those things first. And then we can, so again, just thinking of my journey this week, I've kind of tried to think about like other things I would do if I didn't work in telly. Like if the sun has set on my 14 years in telly, what could I do? Other than lead a cult, which seems viable. And I've joked with people all over the years that I would just become a Zumba instructor, but I would become a Zumba instructor. Because I just feel like they're the happiest people. Like you never see an unhappy Zumba instructor. So I did inquire about it. And that in itself, I think may be a cult because they won't stop ringing me. And now I got scared. Because I'm not actually sure I don't actually think I want to be a Zumba teacher. I think I just want to go to Zumba classes. So there's that. And then I've also signed up for an online course called Bibliotherapy, which is like, I trained as a counsellor 3 years ago, and it's basically how to use literature within therapy. So I think that'd be quite fun. But yeah, so just trying to kind of work out what we want to do. So I feel like in our cult, we can come together and be like, right, outside of the box of who we are as people, as mothers, as employees, sisters, daughters, you know, whoever we are to people, parents, you know, what would we do in an ideal world? And I call this the Disney method. It's the dreamer, the realist, and the critic. And apparently, I saw this on TikTok, you have Disney make decisions based on, you have the dreamer method, and you put everything down that you ever would want from a story or a film or whatever. And then the realist kind of takes away a few items that logistically might not work, or, you know, might be breaching copyright or whatever. And then the critic really goes in hard and on what will and won't work and what, you know, you can and can't do. And then you kind of mush them all together. And that's kind of how you get like the perfect idea according to Walt Disney World. or Walt Disney Productions. I don't know. So maybe we could do one of those sessions, just like get in a circle. Maybe we play some parachute games before that, actually. Love a parachute game. Yeah, we'd all get together and we talk about, you know, if limitless ideas, what would you do? Why? And then kind of narrow it down if you're feeling like me, a little bit free falling. A friend of mine actually, after the last TikTok, messaged me, and she's so spot on. She works in my industry as well, and she said that we have been in fight or flight for 14 years because we do, what's the word I'm looking for, like freelance jobs, right? So you're constantly looking for the next job. And like the last 3 years, I think I had like 2 weeks off. And now I'm staring down the barrel of being off for 6 weeks and maybe a few more. And then 3 years ago, I was not working for 12 weeks. So it's feast or famine, I think is the word. And she was so spot on, because you just get to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like, and that's just in the context of my job. But for you, it might be, you know, home life or mental load or workload or financial obligations or anything where you just feel like you've been doing it for so long. And it kind of goes back to my last point of like, we just go at things at 100. And I love that about us generationally, that we're just like 100 all in. But it can be really, really exhausting and really trying. So, and I think definitely when I came on last week, that's how I was feeling. I still feel very tired, but I also had a hurkle-durkle this morning, which is, it's a Scottish word for like, you're awake but staying in bed past when you need to be. So I do feel quite rested. But yeah, just know that we're all in this together. Another niche. Is that a niche millennial reference? I guess it is. So yeah, I think we could get the cult together. General mantra is don't be a dick. And if you have been a dick, learn from it. Don't do it again. Try not to be a dick. But if you are, learn from it and move on. Just don't be a dick. I think that kind of applies to everything, right? And I know I can be a dick. So I'm not practicing what I preach so much, but let's just put it out there. And yeah, so I guess before the week starts, I'm going to unburden myself with some things that are like keeping me awake, that I feel like they shouldn't. Like, I get that things keep you awake when you're worried about your kids or money or or your job, or you're worried about a family member. Those are big existential things, maybe a bit too big for us today. My things are like when you remember that you were waving at someone and it wasn't who you thought, and then you had to try and style it out. Those kinds of things. So the one that, like, I literally, even now I'm like, is this why I'm not getting any work? Because it's gone round the industry. So I used to intern as a PR assistant, and I loved it. It was for a charity, and it was such a fun internship. But it took me a while to kind of bed in and like feel like I could be myself around these people, because it was a totally different industry. They all spoke not in a different language, but you know, when you change industries, they've got different words for things and different acronyms and things like that. So I'd finally sort of bedded in. I'd gone for a drink with them, and I was like finally one of them, which was great. And because after all, that's all I want, is to just be part of the gang, right? And it's finally in with them. And then I know I've got a microphone on, but my voice really carries without a microphone. And I was doing something on the computer, and I said something to someone. I think I said like, oh, Norwich was in the northwest, and I didn't mean Norwich. I think I was thinking Nantwich. I can't remember. And I meant to say, oh God, sorry, I just had a total brain fart there. And I actually said in a silent office, oh, sorry about that, guys, I just had a total fanny fart. And then like got back to my work because I hadn't realised what I'd said. And then it was like almost too late to go, oh, I thought it was a brain fart. So yeah, I don't know. Make of that what you will. And then another one was, I mean, this is how high my people pleasing is, right? This is how up there I am at all times. Is I was at work It was a job in telly, and I've been at this company like a few times over the years. I felt really comfortable. And I was sitting, let's say I was sitting here, like the rest of the office was behind me. So I only really saw people coming in the door. So a lot of the time I couldn't see what was going on behind me. And as most offices, you don't know everyone and people have birthdays and things like that. And I was just cracking on with work and I heard someone go, ah, and I thought that was the start of ha. So I've turned around and gone, P birthday. It was just someone going, And everyone was looking at me like, why are you singing P birthday? This is actually really therapeutic though. Saying it out loud is like, do you know what? I survived that. So it's fine. We live, we move. And then another one, God, there is actually loads. But one that really pops out, and I think it's because I was talking about it the other day, is I was talking with my gal pals about exes. And I've actually got 2 stories about exes. So which one will I tell first? I'll tell the first one. So basically we're talking about how, so I think one of my mates bumped into her ex and like she was looking amazing and he looked like shit. And I was like, that's all we want, right? Is to win the breakup. And I had an ex who worked where I went to, where I had my gym. Why can't I say it? Where I went to my gym. But I also went on loads of first dates in that area because it's a nice area. So I was like, I'm always going to look cute there. So the minute he sees me, he's going to be like, oh my God, she wins the breakup. No, it was like, I think it was like 5:45 in the morning. I was so tired. And I had a PT session because obviously trying to get revenge bod. And I was eating a banana for the potassium and energy. And I sort of broke it off to like eat. I don't know why I'm being weird about this. I just broke it off to eat. And then there was a Starbucks and he was sat there with one of his mates, obviously waiting to start work. And I was like, oh shit. So I was still in that like, I'm going to ignore him phase and like make him, regret breaking up with me. But I hadn't even done my hair, no makeup. I was like full gym kit, not cute gym kit either. Like not talking about what people wear to the gym now. I think I had like a Fizz's Fun Factory shirt on from Haven and really not flattering leggings. And in shock, I dropped the tip of the banana and then I went to pick it up, all whilst I could feel him and his mate's eyes like burning on me. Went to pick the banana up because I'm not a litterer, and I kicked it in my hurry, so it went further down the road, and then I had to like weirdly like crouch jog down the road to pick up the banana and then put it in the bin and then go for my workout and then see him later and pretend like we just had to pretend like that never ever happened, and I had to like try and take the high road. So horrid. But the other ex story, which actually keeps me warm at night, is my ex was a massive Chelsea fan, huge, to the point where it was a bit of a problem. But my family are Chelsea fans. And so whenever Chelsea win, I think, great, everyone in my household will be happy. I'm happy, I'm a Chelsea fan. But if they lose, I just know my ex is having a fucking terrible day. And that makes me happy. But then I'm like, should I be more enlightened? But today I think I'm going to say ABP. ABP? Yeah, always be petty. Anyway, those are just my thoughts and feelings of the day. Feeling much better, thanks in large part to you guys. And just remember, Monday isn't scary. You can do it. You've done it before. You'll do it again. Be kind to yourself. I feel like, is it Jerry Springer where he goes, look after yourselves and each other? Be kind to yourselves. Do your best. Don't be a dick. Unless somebody needs you to be a dick to them. And we'll check in later on in the week. I hope everyone has a good week. I was going to say good day. Get an early night. If you're feeling anxious and you've got the Sunday Scaries, I would put a film on that makes you cry. Just purge that shit right out. Get it out of the way. Furiously do skincare like your life depends on it. Have a nice bath. Fresh PJs maybe. And all we can do is just get through it. Remember, if you've even opened your eyelids tomorrow, you're winning. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself all week. Bye.